Well, how many of you have ever been to an estate sale? You've been to flea markets, things like that. Estate sales entirely different. You go through a house of someone who's maybe recently passed or has moved into another home, and their items are up for sale. But you're bumping elbows with everybody and everything. Well, Brandy Waltman with Mississippi Roots has taken away that problem of going in and bumping elbows with everybody trying to see items. You have Mississippi Roots that people go online.
Yes, so our business plan is a little different than other estate liquidators here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We actually go into a home from start to finish. It takes 2 weeks to process, but we go into a home and we stage and organize, we price, we take pictures, and then I sell on estatesales.net. That's my platform for selling. Mm-hmm. So each item gets photographed and we describe it. We put, if there's any imperfections on anything.
Just like this table.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's pot. I mean, this is some separate things there.
Exactly. So we would take a picture of this and we would take a picture of this. And I would probably do 2 or 3 pictures of this and maybe 5 of this because it does have like a small piece missing.
Right.
And I would notate that and put that in the pictures and description. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a bonus. That's the bonus on it.
We always say with some stuff, the cobwebs are free, so you get those, a la carte. So,
probably a lot of stories behind those cobwebs, though.
Absolutely. We have found many things that
She's got some great ghost stories. We'll have to share those with you on another show sometime.
Yes.
So you go into a home. Okay, well, let's start out.
Okay.
Somebody interested, somebody passes on, I guess they call you.
The family typically calls us. They do a search or word of mouth, and they ask us how our process is. So I go through with the family. It's usually on a phone conversation because a lot of our family members live out of town and their loved ones passed away. Live here on the Gulf Coast. So they're not familiar how we do things here. So I go through like a 30-second elevator speech with them, just kind of breaking it down to see if we're both a good fit. Is an estate sale a good fit for you? Because there's auctions and other fast liquidation would be somebody doing a buyout. So not always is someone a candidate for an estate sale. With that 30-second elevator speech I do, it talks about is the home unoccupied, which means nobody could be living in the home. That's for liability reasons. And I always tell them, we come and go and we really disrupt life. We're taking things out of the china cabinet. We're bringing tables in. It's a liability issue. So no one can be staying or living at the home. We may be here until midnight getting the job done. Whatever it takes, 5 o'clock in the morning, I may be here. So we don't want you making your coffee and disrupt you because I've got to come in and do a job. So that's kind of usually the first one. The second thing we talk about is your breakdown. Remove anything that you guys want, like personal stuff. I say pictures, memorabilia. We talk about anything the family wants, heirlooms. Those need to be removed off the property because when I come in, I want to be able to sell everything that's here. We also do that because let's say there's a china hutch left and the family wants it. Somebody bumps into it, it breaks, something happens, then I'm liable for something you had wanted.
Right.
So we don't want any accidents to happen and we just want it to go flawless. And it takes about 2 weeks for us to start and finish, which is fast. So I call myself fast liquidation. And we're here for the family to provide a service and they really love it because all they have to do is hand us a key.
And then you come through here, as you said, set things apart. You might have collections of dolls. Or things,
yes, when people collect, they collect pigs, teddy bears, porcelain items, Fenton.
Furniture, different types of pieces of furniture.
Yes, so you definitely know when you walk into someone's home what they like. Like this one, for example, loved blue and white and the blue willow type stuff. So everybody kind of, you could start to tell, and you walk into your home and you start working, you're like, oh, they liked this, belt buckles and purses. So
how do you determine what the value of something is?
That is a great question. I get to ask that a lot. I have been in the resale, will and deal, haggling business my entire life. My parents ran an auction house for Judge Bruce Strong. in Biloxi, and his wife Annette, and I grew up with stuff, and I can almost look at it and know this has value. So the crazy part is trying to put value on it today, in today's market. So I try to tell my clients, we sell, for one, for fast liquidation. I only have 3 days to sell. 2, I only market really to my Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, Mississippi Gulf Coast. So that's my audience. I have to be able to, target them, and what are they willing to pay for something. Just because it's an antique doesn't mean somebody wants it. So just because it's old and beautiful doesn't mean the market wants to pay for it, or is it desirable. So that's a hard part. So I try to stay up with trends. What are people liking in their homes? What are people buying? So I read a lot on that. I've tried to make myself an expert on furniture of all 1800s and on. So definitely hard to determine value.
Well, we want to show you some of the beautiful things in one of the houses that they dealt with recently here. Wow, this is beautiful. So how do you get paid?
So what I do is I'm based off of commission. Whatever I sell is a percentage from that. It can range between 30 and 40%, just depending on where you're at and what you have. Big items is negotiable.
Okay, and now what about going online? I mean, how do they do this?
Absolutely. So for my customers, we list everything on estatesales.net individually. Usually I list it on a Wednesday, and it lasts for about 3 days in a one-day local pickup. And we will have all that information on that sale platform on estatesales.net. And you use a credit card to purchase for the item, and then you pick it up, and you just make an appointment with us. And sometimes there's extra things that I just didn't list or get to put online, and you get to shop those things, and we call those bonus items. So it's kind of like kitchen gadgets or extra little things. And so when you make your appointment to pick up, you get to purchase some of those things.
Oh, that is really nice. And I guess they can go online to the website ahead of time and find out what's coming up.
Correct. MississippiRootsLLC.com. You can find me on Facebook, Mississippi Roots LLC. I'm LLC bonded, insured. We're completely taken care of.
All right. Brandy Waltman, thank you.
Thank you so
with Mississippi
much.
Roots. If you're into estate sales but don't want to get out and fight the crowds getting in and out of the houses, what you need to do is go to the website that she mentioned. It's right there on your screen, MississippiRootsLLC.com, and find out what they got and find yourself some of your own treasures.